Hey friends, it's Grandma Cat Jeter from beautiful Western Washington, reaching out to you on a beautiful sunny April day. I am ready to get this video done and get outside and enjoy. I hope you're in a situation where you can do that too. But hey, there's some important stuff going on that I want to chat you up about first. Let's get a little housekeeping out of the way first. First off, if you told me 50 years ago when I first saw a High Times magazine that in 2022 I would be featured in it, I would have told you there is no possible way on earth that that could happen. Yet, lo and behold, in the 420 issue of this month's High Times, I am featured as the Activist of the Month. And actually, I called it the Actualist because I'm through asking for people's permission. I'm just going ahead and helping you all to get the medication that you need. So if you have a chance, pick that magazine up. I will also be posting a copy on of the article on my various pages, social pages. So that out of the way. Also, very important in the Seattle area, and I think I can make the case in the United States, Seattle Hemp Fest, like many events, has been in trouble throughout the pandemic era. It's been hard for them to survive. They are, after all, just another small business, and one that's based on the act of gathering once a year. So imagine that difficulty. We're having a fundraiser for them at the Crocodile here in Seattle on First Avenue. That's 417, so about a week and a half away. I will have a link for that on my Facebook pages. Please do come, even if you can't come. Think about buying a ticket anyways. This is how HempFest is going to survive to its next iteration. If we can keep the COVID numbers down, I'll be there to speak on one of the panels, and we have a full evening of entertainment ahead too. So very, very excited about that. Excuse me half a second. It's hay fever season. I need to get one of these and wipe my nose for half a sec. I hope you all are avoiding the effects of the pollen this year. It hits me like a ton of bricks in April. I literally live under a cedar tree. And so anyway, thanks for that little bit, and thanks for letting me get those 2 bits out about Seattle Hemp Fest for Plenty celebration, and thanks so much for your support always, and for High Times support of me in this month. Now, on to the topic that we wanted to get to, and you may or may not have heard about a CYP450 substrate or interaction. It's called the CYP450 Cytochrome 2, and cannabidiol. That's CBD, Charlie Bravo Delta. We've known about this for a few years. And let's talk about what this CYP450 substrate is. First, it's in your liver, right? And this is the way your body metabolizes medication, right? And it's the basis of all dosing. So if you, like me, take one of those high-powered pain relievers occasionally, like an aspirin. Actually, I take baby aspirin if I need to amplify my medication from cannabis. We know that it is metabolized at a certain rate through this CYP450 substrate. Okay, and we know that every 4 hours you might need a new aspirin if you're taking 81 milligrams like I do. And so that is the basis for knowing your dosing. And it's that way with every medication. How you metabolize medication informs how we medicate, and the rate and how frequently at which we medicate. Turns out that cannabidiol interferes with that mechanism, and it slows down the metabolism of various drugs. We've watched it very closely with our chemo patients because this is someplace where buildup of medication has been particularly problematic for us. And it's also a place where frequently we are working with high doses of cannabidiol, THC, CBG, all of the cannabinoids, right? So it's one of the places where we've been very careful, but I have never run into a CYP450 conflict with maintenance medications until just the other day, when a longtime patient of mine reached out to me and said, I just got out of the hospital and I am worried that it might have been my cannabis that sent me there. So like all good troubleshooting situations, we start with the first question. What changed? Because she was doing great before. What changed to make her not do great and to land in the hospital? And in her case, her physicians changed. First, she changed to cannabidiol from tetrahydrocannabinol delta 9 for her ongoing medication. And then her doctor changed her blood pressure medication. We wouldn't have had a problem, we don't think, if she'd stayed on the THC. That wasn't where she was. And the cannabidiol, which she was rather unfamiliar with, created that conflict, and bam, that blood pressure medication started building up in her body. It wasn't metabolizing correctly, and soon she was in the hospital. They've gotten it straightened out, and the patient is just fine. She's decided that's not the blood pressure medication for her because she prefers her cannabis. But we now know to watch that very carefully with her blood pressure medications in the future. Now, I want to emphasize this patient is a fairly high dosing patient. If you're using 25 or 50 milligrams a day, this probably doesn't apply to you, although you should be aware of it, just in case something goes sideways. It's one of the first things that we should consider is what changes. Then secondly, I also want you to know where it is that I go to find these conflicts. So I go to WebMD, and they have a wonderful interaction checker there that includes not only cannabis, but also cannabidiol, and I expect to see other cannabinoids on this list fairly soon as well. And all you do is you type in cannabidiol and whatever other medication it is that you're wanting to check for a conflict for, and what you get is a great readout that says it's either no conflict, or it's a minor conflict, or it could be a major conflict. And it will tell you a little bit about that, at least enough that you should have an idea of where you're going with this, and if it's something that you need to be cautious about. So with that information, you should be able to, again, improve the efficacy of all of your medications, as well as your cannabinoid usage, and improve the safety of it. This is a natural and necessary understanding as we deal with cannabis in a much more medical and peer-reviewed scientific way appropriate for the year 2022. We're going to see more things like this. In the past, we have relied on our observed experience and on our ancient texts, such as O'Shaughnessy's from 1844, that told us there were no interactions. Of course, we didn't have the plant teased apart in all of these various different ways too, and frequently CBD dosing would not have been as high in the past, or even its availability in the past, as it is currently, right? So this is an evolving world that we are in, so several things to keep in mind here. Be aware. Go to webmd.com if you have questions. And if you still have questions, give me a call or send me a message on Facebook. I'm still there, Grandma Cat Jeter. Or you can find me on Instagram, Grandma Cat Extracts. I also have my website up and going now too, also grandmacatextracts.com. And cat is with a C. So I look forward to hearing from you if you have any confusion or further questions. And I'm wishing you the happiest of spring days and a ton of safety with cannabis always as your primary medication. Take really good care of yourself, and I look forward to talking to you soon, and perhaps even seeing you at the Hemp Fest for Plenty celebration in 10 days. Be well, take good care. Bye-bye.